What's up, everybody? Chris Jacobs here with another edition of Optima Batteries High Performance House Call. What's great about motorsports is there's so many different types of racing, and today we got a fun one. Formula D driver Michael Essa is going to give us a tour of his shop down in Anaheim, California, called Essa Autosport. Let's give him a FaceTime call, see what he's up to.
Hey,
Yo!
Chris, what's happening?
What's up, Michael?
How you doing?
Good, buddy. How you doing?
Good, man. Just at the shop working away.
I know you guys haven't been racing, but what have you been doing during the lockdown to stay busy?
Well, we're fortunate enough to have a few project cars here that needed quite a bit of work on them, so we've been tackling that stuff, and also just doing extra stuff on my drift car. So all the little detail stuff that we've wanted to do, but we just never have enough time in the off season.
We've been in this lockdown for about 2.5 months now. How far into the season would you be? Where would you be racing this coming weekend?
We would have already done Long Beach and then gone to Atlanta last weekend, and we'd be heading to Florida right now. So yeah, and hopefully we're going to be starting the season on the 4th of July weekend in Atlanta. So if everything goes well, hopefully we can make it out there and get back in the cars. It's been a while.
Yeah. Have you been able to get any track time in during the lockdown?
I did right before, but not any during yet. We just actually went out to a Porsche Club race just yesterday out at Willow Springs. So it's starting to get back going, which is awesome. It's so good to be out back at the track. We're usually there like every weekend, and 2.5 months is like forever. So
it feels like it, right? When you're used to doing something every single week and pretty much every day, because when you guys aren't actually drifting, you guys are in the shop trying to improve your cars.
Exactly. After every event, cars come back here, we'll inspect them, just see if they need any type, maintenance type stuff, but also we're looking for improvements.
Now I'm getting a little bit of a glimpse. What's on the lift there behind you? Is that the Cayman?
Yeah, so there's a Cayman that we've turned into some insane race car. So
why don't you flip your camera around? Let me get a closer look at that bad boy. That's cool.
So this thing's got a Pandem body kit on it. Wheels are massive. They're 11s in the front and 13s in the rear. So it looks almost like a drag slick. So we've got this 997 Cup car engine and rear suspension with a sequential gearbox that we've put into this thing, and basically the back of the car is tube frame now to mount the new rear suspension, and it is extremely fast and a lot of fun to drive.
So did that 997 drivetrain just drop right into the Cayman body, or did you have to make some modifications to get it to fit?
In absolutely no way did it drop in. It was a huge project. So basically everything from behind the main hoop on the roll cage is basically cut out besides the sheet metal bodywork. So we cut the frame off of the car and built a tube frame in the back. So it was a big project to get everything to fit in there, but it's really been worth it.
Give me another shot of that tire. It looked like those tires have seen some track time. How much wear and tear do you get out of your tires? I mean, do you have to change them mid-race, or do you get a couple races out of them? What's the tread life?
Yeah, so it depends on the race. If it's a sprint race, we usually measure them in heat cycles. So if it's sprint race stuff, then about 4 heat cycles they'll be real good, and after that up to about 8 heat cycles they'll be usable. So that's like 1 weekend at the track and the tires are gone. Guys with bigger tire budgets will put tires on every 2 sessions, and new tires really do help a lot.
Well, I mean, it's literally the cliche becoming reality where the rubber meets the road is probably the most important aspect of what you do, especially drifting. I mean, of course, in the sprint, but in the drift, the quality of the tire, the wear of the tire, all that makes a huge difference, right?
Absolutely. So on the drift car, we're only allowed to run 200 tread wear tires, so we can't have a full slick. But this tire is basically new. We just ran it on the dyno. But all of this tread will be gone after 2 laps that are 30 seconds long. So about a minute of track time, and we kill a pair of tires in the rear, and we're back in the pits, and the guys are putting another pair on there for us.
Take us through the balance of a drift car I know that's utmost important too, because the weight distribution of the car dictates how efficiently you're going to be able to slide around the track. What do you think about when you're designing a drift car as far as the weight distribution goes?
Basically, a car that would be really easy to drive would be a front engine car that's heavier up front by 10% maybe. So maybe 60% front, 40% rear. The car will slide really easily, but in pro drifting we try to get the car heavier in the back or as close to 50-50 as possible, which gives us that extra weight on the rear. It's like a Porsche, right? So they come out of the corners really fast. You get that weight transfer even more, but it makes the car twitchier and harder to drive. We're trying to make the cars as fast as possible to compete, which might seem counterintuitive to a lot of people that think about drifting as sliding around. But the way that judging is in Formula Drift, you want as much speed in the car as possible to pull away from your opponent, but still do what the judges want you to do. So,
yeah, it's almost like a dance you guys are doing out there, because there's certain choreographed moves that you have to execute in order to score those points with the judges. Is that right?
Yeah, so I hear a lot of people say that, but I say it's more like an MMA fight, because we're out there trying to kill each other, but we're still kind of in sync. It's like it's that dance, like you said, but you're looking for that advantage anywhere you can get in that little opening to push your opponent, that little extra bit and make him make a mistake.
And where do you put the battery in your car, your Optima battery?
Yeah, I'll show you. Actually, we've got them right here in the back to help that 50-50 weight distribution. And we don't need two batteries to start the car. Obviously, one Optima is plenty. But in the rule book, we're allowed to run two batteries as long as they're wired together. And that is basically our extra ballast in the back of the car. So we're only allowed to add a 50-pound lead weight to the car, but it has to be in front of the rear axles. So to get our weight in the back, we're able to put the batteries back there and really fine-tune the balance of the car and the way it handles transitions and how it picks up speed out of the corners. I think Optima's been in there for about 3 years now and no issues, so testament to them to make a really solid battery.
How did you get your start in drifting? Is it something that you kind of discovered you had a skill for by accident, or did you always want to get into drifting? How did you do it?
I started more like road racing, and I had a 240Z back in the late 90s when I first got my driver's license. But I was a broke kid. I couldn't afford to buy tires for it. So I was always on some old crusty tires and just kind of got used to that thing wanting to slide around. And then I saw that drifting was a sport, and I saw a video and I was like, whoa, that looks really cool. So I gave it a shot, and at first I was terrible at it, but it was such a challenge. I just wanted to keep going out and doing it over and over and get better at it, and that just kind of one thing led to another, and now I'm here in Formula Drift.
And that first time that you crack it loose, I mean, you must feel like you're gonna do a complete 360 flip, but then you find that balance where you're holding the drift, but you're in control. What's going through your mind when you first realize, hey, this is the point of drifting, I get it now?
That's what I love so much about drifting, is it's just all about that car feel, and there's nothing else like it. It's so different from road racing, and the runs are super short, but they're super intense, so it's a blast. I love it.
It's so interesting that you got your start in road racing, where the point is to drive the car right up to that edge right before you break it loose. And in drifting, you're past that edge and you're trying not to come back across the edge where you get grip again.
Yeah, I mean, I say it's like, I compare it to racing where you're trying to find the limit, right? Except the limit in road racing is the limit of the tires not breaking loose. And the limit of drifting is the tire's broken loose, but you're still on that edge of the car wanting to spin or snap straight. So, it is a different feeling for sure, but you're still looking for that control and trying to find that edge. So just having that confidence and that feel is really important, but also what makes it really exciting.
All right, well, what else you got in your shop to show us, Michael? I know it wasn't just that the Cayman you are featuring over there. So what else you got?
So we've got an S54 engine.
Look at the size of that turbo. That's awesome.
It's like the biggest thing we could put in here. I mean, there's like no clearance left. So 25 pounds of boost. and this thing makes 1,015 horsepower at the wheels.
Oh my God! And is that exhaust just exit right at the top? You turn that down. Where does that go?
Yeah, so this is the wastegate dump. So instead of it plumbing back into the exhaust like a lot of cars would, especially street cars, we've got it exiting out the hood for two reasons. One is because when it shoots flames and stuff at night, it looks really cool, and so that's a definite bonus. But also, my car and all the turbo cars are a lot quieter than the V8s that we run against. So it's really hard when you're side by side with somebody with a 900 horsepower V8 to be able to hear your own car. And since you're looking out the side window and not in front of you, you can't see the shift lights and the gauges. So being able to tell how high you are in the revs, having that open wastegate really lets you hear the engine a little more. So you can not just sit there on the limiter and the guy's pulling away from you. Take a look inside the car a little more.
Yeah, give us some of the mechanicals, okay?
Yeah, so we've got, it's just an OEM BMW electric throttle pedal, so it's a drive-by-wire. And then we put in this dual master pedal assembly. So basically the brakes are split front to rear, where a street car would have a single master cylinder with multiple lines coming out of it. We've got them split, which allows us to control the brake balance front to rear. And then we've got a knob on the dash there that we can control that brake balance front to rear. So if track conditions change or we want a little more front, a little more rear brake, we can dial that in real quick. We've got an e-brake, so we've got a hydraulic master cylinder down here that goes to the rear brakes with a lever. So this will lock up both the rear tires, just like your street car handbrake, but we've got a hydraulic one in here, so it'll work faster and just be more instant. And then a sequential shifter, so pull back to shift up, push forward to shift down, eliminates the H pattern and possibilities of missed shifts.
And I see that beautiful shot bottle in the back too. When does that come into play?
Yeah, so we've got that back there. That one other disadvantage you could say for a turbo car is that you don't have that instant torque. You've got to have the turbo spooled up to get that power. So we put that nitrous bottle in there that the Motec ECU controls. If it's below 3,000 above 3,000 RPM, and I give it full throttle, the nitrous will kick in until the boost comes in full.
So it kicks in automatically and kind of acts as a bridge to cover the turbo lag.
Exactly. So I've got a nitrous button on my dash there to activate it before the run, and then once we're going, it's just off of the throttle pedal. Anything over 90% throttle will kick the nitrous in if the boost is low.
It's amazing that you're getting so much horsepower out of that engine. You said nearly 1,100 horsepower.
Yeah, if we did if we measured the horsepower at the flywheel, I think it would be over 1,300 horsepower.
That's just awesome. That is amazing. So Michael, tell me this. When do you think you guys are going to be getting back into a full season? I know NASCAR just had a race this past weekend without fans, of course.
Yep.
Has there been any discussion about when Formula D is going to be coming back?
Yeah, so right now they've got Atlanta, 4th of July weekend set as our first date, and they've put out a full schedule. I guess it's just going to depend on, kind of state to state, county to county, what's going on at that time. But hopefully, everything looks good for Atlanta right now. And then we'll be going to Jersey after that and St. Louis. So, yeah, I mean, it's looking good. It looks like we may be able to start soon.
Cool, man. I wish you the best of luck. I'm sure it's really frustrating to have all these cool cars in your shop ready to go and you can't get them out there on the track, but I'm glad you did get to go to that race this past weekend, and I'm looking forward to seeing you back out there on the drift circuit.
Yeah, thanks, man. Like I said, it was awesome to be back out of the track, and hopefully we can start drifting and get that full season in.
Before I let you go, how can people find you on social media? What's your Instagram handle?
My Instagram is Michael Essa. Same on Twitter, and Facebook, it's Michael Essa 101.
Got it. And does the Essa Auto Sport shop have a particular website or a Facebook page, something like that?
I have a website. It's EssaAutosport.com.
Gotcha. Cool, man. Stay safe down there in Anaheim, brother. I'll see you down the road.
All right, man. Take care.